Hello, and welcome to episode 6 of the SolarQuotes Vodcast.
That's right. I'm very excited.
It's been a hot week.
Oh yeah, it's going to be 40 degrees today.
It's been over 35 all week, I think. Two bits of news interested me just this morning. One, Tesla have finally announced you can order the $35,000 US Tesla Model 3 in America.
Oh yeah. That'll be $54,000 Australian today. Well, I won't buy one, but will you?
I've put a deposit down.
Ooh.
So just after, Tesla was on the verge of going broke, as admitted by Elon Musk.
Yep.
When they came through that, I thought, you know what? I'm going to give them a $1,500 refundable deposit. Now I think they're less likely to go broke and keep it. So
Right. Okay, cool. Can I try it out?
yeah, man.
Ooh, also.
Take it away for the weekend. See what you think.
Scout's honor. I've never crashed a car. I have never had a ticket. I've never been a scout.
The other big news is the Scott Morrison government has announced their new energy plan a big part of it will be hydrogen, your favourite molecule.
Yes, I was just reading about how it will replace natural gas. No, it won't. Far too expensive. If you have electricity, there's no way you're going to use hydrogen to replace natural gas. Using the electrons will be a lot cheaper.
You're on the wrong side of the chief scientist. He seems to think hydrogen's got huge potential.
We have a chief scientist?
We do, Mr. Alan Finkel.
How can you be a chief scientist? Does it work that way? Science is like there's a king or a boss at top?
Yeah, you're not meant to do what the chief says, are you? You're meant to do what the science says.
Yeah, exactly. It's not supposed to be from authority. Well, that's okay. He's allowed to be wrong.
He's been to Japan and he says they're wildly enthusiastic about hydrogen.
He doesn't know much about Japan, does he? People in Japan say things to be polite.
What do you know about Japan?
I don't know. Not much. I lived there for a while.
How long?
6 years.
Okay.
7 years.
Sorry, go on.
And so it's not going to happen. They're going to build some hydrogen cars, but they only have a few hundred hydrogen vehicles at the moment. I don't know how many. What they may do is build hydrogen fuel cell vehicles for military use. So
cool. So the blog post that was written about 7 days ago by Michael. Jinko Solar ruled the roost for solar panel shipments in 2018. So Jinko Solar shipped the most solar panels of any company in the world in 2018. And I even made a little graph to show.
Yep.
So the dark grey is 2018 numbers. The funny light grey is 2017 numbers. So Jinko on top, closely followed by JA. Trina, interestingly, made less panels in 2018 than 2017.
Yes, they may have cranked down the production because of the low prices.
Right.
So, but yes, I don't actually know what's going on there, but that's a massive amount of panels. So in 2017, Jinko produced roughly as many panels as Australia has now. And in last year, they produced more than Australia's total solar PV capacity. It's massive.
Yeah, wow.
So the top 10 companies produced around 65 gigawatts of solar capacity. That's huge.
What's that compared to the total solar capacity last year?
The estimate is 104 gigawatts were produced and installed last year.
So 10 companies made 64% of all panels, or 60 odd percent of all panels.
About 2/3. Yep.
Wow. All those manufacturers you can buy in Australia, apart from Shunfeng, not sure who they are. First Solar, you can buy them if you want to do a commercial development only. First Solar thin film panels won't sell to residential, but all those others you can buy in Australia. One interesting thing was Talison on the list. Call themselves Talison Germany GmbH.
Yeah. So must have had a tough job shifting all those factories from China to Germany. Would have been hard work for them.
I thought we'd got past Chinese solar companies pretending they were German by having a German name.
Yeah, apparently not. Everything old is new again.
Come on, Taliesin. We don't fall for it. Cool. Next blog post that was written was, not all sunshine for Queensland 1,500 megawatt solar and 500 megawatt storage project. So this won't go into the details.
I will.
I'm sure you will. Of why it wasn't all sunshine, people objecting to it. Yeah, huge solar and storage project in Queensland. We had an interesting comment from a lady called Corinne who said, we are seeing the same ridiculous project here in New South Wales from developer UPC Renewables. No need to shout. And their New England solar farm eating up prime agricultural land on an aquifer. It is irresponsible practices, wrong place for such a large-scale solar farm. So what do you say to that protest, Ronald?
Oh, well, I made a picture.
That one?
Yeah.
So what's this?
At the top is the Tarong Power Station in Queensland, and below it is the coal mine, which supplies it with power, and only Tarong Power Station with power.
So that kind of white splodge is the mine and the power station?
Yep, it takes up a huge amount of space. That yellow rectangle is the size of the Sunshine Energy solar project.
That's
roughly.
Interesting. So, yeah, so when people say that solar takes up a lot of space, they tend to forget about the open cast coal mines.
Yes.
that you need.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So if you want to produce as much energy as the Tarong Power Station is capable of, you'll need more solar panels than that, but it's not a ridiculous amount compared to the size of the coal mine and the power station. So
is it on prime agricultural land, like Corinne says?
Not the one near Kilcoy. Kilcoy, lovely place. It's right near Somerset Dam. My father built the public toilets at Somerset Dam, but he doesn't live in them, so you can use them and feel safe.
Hang on, I thought he was a chef.
This was before he was a chef, but to get into Australia, he had to lie to say what his job was. He said he was a carpenter, and then he got a job building toilets. Yeah, so
another one of those lazy immigrants.
One of those horrible immigrants. Yeah. And then they have kids and who just don't even bother to shave. It's disgusting.
Disrespect the government.
Constantly. That's all they. And worst of all, he was Dutch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
in the scheme of things, it's in the context of the coal mine and the power station, it's not that huge.
No. And if you've ever mowed a lawn in Kilcoy, which I have, you'll know that grass grows a lot thicker where it's shaded. So now I don't know, there's a point where the rainfall falls off enough where solar panels will increase the agricultural output of the land they're on because they increase the water availability for the plants. Now you're not going to be growing wheat or something on that land, but you can use it for grazing. Now in Australia, I haven't heard of anyone dual purposing solar farm land, but they do it in Europe because they're a bit, more crowded there.
Okay. If anyone is growing crops underneath ground-mounted solar panels, let us know.
Isn't he cute?
Now, I think Michael did very well to find a picture of ScoMo where he didn't have a lump of coal in his hand. So well done, Michael.
Yeah, but from the happy expression on his face, it's just out of shock, surely.
Yeah, maybe somewhere on his person. ScoMo's climate solutions package panned.
Yeah. He's offering $2 billion over 10 years to give money to large companies to reduce their emissions. So, yeah, because apparently that's a good thing compared to, say, a carbon price that we used to have.
Will it be effective?
Oh, well, it will have an effect, but any economist will tell you the sensible thing to do is to put a price on carbon. Okay, any economist who isn't a hack. There's a few hacks around.
The interesting thing for me is if they believe climate change is an issue, then they need to do something that's going to work, and they need to take it seriously. If they don't believe climate change is an issue, then this is a complete waste of $2 billion.
Yeah.
So what is it?
It's whatever will get them elected. That's what it is.
Yeah, playing politics. He claims to believe in climate change now, as of last week, I think. I noticed an interesting correlation this week.
Yes, what's your correlation?
If you look at the people who are defending the convicted rapist, that is George Pell, Andrew Bolt, Chris Kenny, Miranda Devine,
Miss Devine, yes,
John Howard.
Oh, Jono.
His opinion hasn't changed with George Pell since he was convicted, and Tony Abbott.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
They're all people that have vehemently denied climate change.
Yes.
And really dislike renewables.
Yes.
So I mean, correlation is different from causation. Just saying that I've got 5 data points. I think they find something happens that disagrees with what they believe in based on a very small amount of evidence or a hunch, and they can't change their mind. It's interesting. Yeah.
Their feelings trump everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably time to move on.
Yes. Find a happy topic.
Oh, here we go. Another study confirms solar's popularity among Australia's battlers. So this is about, it shouldn't be any surprise to anyone in the solar industry. The people buying solar are not the rich people.
Yeah.
We've been seeing this since we started. Generally, most of the people that buy solar because they have a bleeding neck problem, which is they need to get their electricity bills down. People who have loads of money and use a load of electricity and have massive electricity bills, even if it's a couple of grand, $3 grand a quarter, if that's a drop in the ocean to their income, they see very little point, unless they're very environmentally driven, of going to the bother of putting solar panels on their roof. So it's the battlers who are buying most of the solar.
Australians have benefited a lot from the rooftop solar.
How's that?
Well, not only if you put solar on your roof, it lowers the price of electricity for you.
I did that once.
You did that? Oh, I bought solar once myself too. And it also helps your neighbours, because the solar electricity you're producing gets sent into the grid. It helps keep the wholesale price of electricity down. It helps keep transmission costs down. And it also helps save the planet. And some people think that's important. I understand you have children.
That's right.
Do you like them?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, then maybe it's important.
Okay, this is a good one. US senators fear Huawei solar inverters. Now, I think what happened here is the US senators heard about Huawei solar inverters, went to Google, typed it in, and saw this picture on one of your old posts.
Yes.
And shat themselves.
Yep. Oh, no.
So what's this about? What's this post about, Ronald?
A while back, someone said, I can't say it.
Huawei
phone. There's a Huawei phone, and it's reporting to a server in Beijing. Therefore, it's spying on us. But yeah, if you pick up your kids' mobile phones, you'll find that they're actually reporting to China, Ukraine, Russia, United States, Taiwan, all sorts of companies and countries. They're all getting information on your buying and selling and what computer games you're playing. It's, there was really nothing to it, but they're in a big tizzy.
What's the worst the Chinese can do if they can monitor your solar inverter?
Well, they could have a good understanding of solar patterns, sunshine levels in the United States.
Ooh, scary.
Yeah. There is a separate issue of cybersecurity with inverters, but that applies to every inverter.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think China would say, their big plan to screw over the United States is to reduce solar output slightly by messing with the inverters? It's bizarre.
What, so you think there's some politicians that are running a scare campaign based on no evidence? That would never happen.
Oh, well, if that would never happen, then that's fine. But yeah, I'm inclined to think that is what's happening.
Interesting. It's a good picture, that.
Yeah, I really liked it. So, if anyone wants to buy that picture, it's on sale for $490. Please make an offer.
Send us your credit card details.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. This is an interesting one. How do you pronounce this? You watched the video.
Yeah, Gelion Endura. Wow, it sounds like the name of a princess of power. It's a non-flow zinc bromine battery. It's interesting, definitely very interesting.
So the zinc bromine batteries that exist at the moment, the famous one being the red flow, that uses liquid zinc bromide, and then it pumps it through or over electrodes, plates the electrodes with zinc, and that's how you charge the battery, that's how you put energy into it. Then when you want to discharge it, you strip the zinc off the electrodes by pumping and pump the electrolytes back, the liquid back into the tank. So this uses zinc bromine but as a gel.
Yeah,
it has no pumps.
Apparently it's got 2 chunks of gel in it. I don't know how it works. There's not enough information given for me to work out how it works. And there's also not enough information given for me to work out whether or not the claims that are made for it being so cheap.
How cheap do they claim it to be?
Oh, it's going to be far cheaper than lithium, and its cost is 9 times less per electron transfer than lithium.
Interesting unit.
Yes. When you start pulling out stuff like that, I start thinking, is that the only way you can make it sound good? No, okay, I might sound a bit, pessimistic. At some point, someone's going to come up with something better than lithium. I'm certain that'll happen. Just might take a while. Yeah.
Yep.
So, have there been any particularly wonderful reviews this week? Or horrific ones?
Should we do the best and worst review of the week segment?
Yes,
let's
definitely.
do it. So every week I ask Ned, who works for Solar who has the pleasure of reading every single review that comes in, which I think is about 250 last week. Yeah, I just say, look, Ned, give us what you consider the best review and the worst review of the week. Don't worry about who the installers are, who the companies are. So Ned's chosen these, not me. This one is a company called Energy Matters, which I've been told isn't trading in Australia anymore. Energy Matters was an approved solar retailer right up until they stopped selling solar in Australia. I did vent my displeasure at Energy Matters remaining a approved solar retailer after they just started getting loads of really bad reviews.
Yes.
After they changed ownership. They used to be really, really good Energy Matters. Don't get me wrong, they should have been an approved retailer at the outset, but they just went from hero to zero when they changed hands. So this is awful. My system went in mid-October 2017 after paying a deposit in July of that year. Not a great start. Well, not if they promised it earlier, for sure. Once it was in, I had one string fail 6 weeks later. It took another 6 weeks to be repaired. The contractor that repaired it told me the job was unfinished and needed some attention to be compliant with standards. Not good. February 2019, I'm still waiting for them to sort that out. And now they have sent the debt collectors after me, despite numerous emails asking for help. This reviewer suggests you don't use this company. Well, you can't use this company anymore as far as I'm aware. Yeah, that's a bit depressing.
Yeah.
Should we get on to the best review of the week?
Definitely. Cheer us up.
So these guys, this is for a company called Springer's Solar. These guys are absolute veterans of the solar scene up in Queensland. Eddie Springer runs it, good family company. The installers arrived on time, on the install date. They worked efficiently and neatly. This is for a Powerwall 2 install. Paul and the other 2 guys did a great job of the installation, and they did in fact conceal all the wiring as committed. Paul's knowledge of the Tesla product was evident, and he had the system operating, which he was able to demonstrate with the Tesla app very quickly. They even took time to clean up once they were finished, as you should. The only issue I had with the entire process was the Tesla Powerwall 2 had some slight paint damage on the outer housing, which evidently happened in transit. Initially, Springers offered to repair the damage, which I was fine with, as it was minimal. After a couple of weeks, they phoned me to say they would actually swap my unit for a brand new one. I was surprised and pleased. It was pretty nice. So, what seems to be superficial damage, good on you, Springers. Springer's Solar exceeded my expectation at every level. The entire process from admin to install was very efficient and easy. That's a bit better.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, that's, like I say every week, there's some great solar installers out there. Go on.
Well, it's good to hear you can get a Tesla Powerwall replaced for paint damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you paid for a Powerwall 2 without paint damage.
Yeah, that's well, obviously. And that's among your consumer guarantees. It has to be of appropriate appearance.
Yeah.
You certainly wouldn't expect it to be damaged.
Do you remember last week I was banging on about 2 Tesla Powerwall 2s that stopped working after an electrical storm?
Yeah, I certainly do. That's sort of a weird contrast.
So I wrote the blog post. As I said I would, about those, but I didn't publish it. I broke the habit of a lifetime, and I thought, you know what? There's some technical things in there that I've claimed. I'm not an expert on electrical storms and how that affects electronics. I'll send this blog post to Tesla to get them to comment.
Yep.
I thought that'd be fair, and we'll see what they say. So I just heard back from them yesterday, and these 2 guys that have now got working Powerwalls apparently. I haven't rang them up to confirm. I will do.
Yep.
And Tesla have sent back my blog post with a bunch of comments, which I'll. The blog post might change a bit because it's not now 2 guys really grumpy because their Powerwalls aren't working. It's 2 guys are actually quite happy because their Powerwalls have been fixed. But it shouldn't have taken me to spend half a Sunday writing a blog post and send it to Tesla to get that resolved. No.
I mean, now, there was nothing else that was damaged by lightning at these homes?
In the case that I went into the details of, no, there wasn't.
Yeah, so that's odd. If you're going to be selling battery systems in Australia, they have to be able to survive at least minor surges in current, because that's what everything has to survive here. Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, thank you, Tesla, for sorting David and Philip out. They appreciate it. I appreciate it. But please treat everyone with the same, you know, good service, and that'd be great. And I won't get frustrated emails from people going, "Oh, I'm pulling my hair out with Tesla. Can you help?"
Yes.
It's kind of unsustainable to write a blog post for every 2 people that have an issue. So, you know. Okay. Next blog post. A couple of days ago.
Good news.
Victoria's 2019-2020 minimum solar feed-in tariff rates have been finalised, and they have been increased.
Yes, by 2.1 cents.
So this isn't the feed-in tariff you're necessarily going to get, it's the minimum feed-in tariff. The interesting thing for me is that if you shop around in Victoria, we've got a tool on our website, put in your postcode, tick the little box that says sort by feed-in tariff, and you can, in a heartbeat, see the most generous feed-in tariffs in your postcode. I did that for postcode 3000. Sim are offering 20-cent feed-in tariff, AGL 20 cents, Click Energy 18 cents, Origin Energy 16. So I'm not saying that's the best plan to go on because it depends on the usage tariff and the daily rates, but I'm on a Sim in South Australia on an investment property, and I'm really impressed. Really high feed-in tariff, decent usage tariffs, easy to deal with. So what I'm trying to say is, although the minimum right now is I think 9.9.
Yep, for Victoria. Yep.
Shop around, you can get 20 cents and decent usage rates.
So from the 1st of July, the minimum will be 12 cents in Victoria.
So will these go up 2 cents? That's the question.
They should, but we can't be certain of that. It's based upon the wholesale future price,
right,
which is the predicted price. So, and I was a little surprised that the wholesale prices went up in Victoria, but then I remembered, oh wait, we've had new information come in, and that is that their coal power plants are really unreliable, worse than we thought. So that could be a factor in it.
Boys, the coal plants are fucked. Put up the feed-in tariff. You think that's what happened?
Well, put up the expected cost of wholesale electricity.
Anything else you want to say this week?
This week...
We had a visit from Channel 7.
Yeah, that's right.
Was that yesterday?
Yes, it was yesterday.
Yeah, we had a Channel 7 contacted us. There's an AGL scheme they've just put a press release out about called Off-Site Solar. So the idea, which is great in theory, is that you buy a share in a solar panel farm. If you're a tenant, for example, you haven't got solar on your roof, you can't put it on your roof. And then you can share in the cheap electricity generated by those solar panels, and it comes off your bills.
Sounds great.
Yeah, so they wanted my opinion on that, so I gave it. So I won't piss on Channel 7's fireworks. It's going out next week sometime, but I'll write a blog post about it after it goes out on Channel 7. Yeah, that was cool. They came around with a cameraman and You had a star.
Yeah, I could be on TV.
Yeah.
Ladies.
Cool. So that was SolarQuotes blog Vodcast episode 6.
That's right.
Short and snappy this week.
Well, I'm sure when we look at our watches, it'll actually be quite long. But we'll edit it down to a reasonable